Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D Remake is honestly a really special project for me. The Dragon Quest 3 Remake already set the gold standard for how to bring a classic game into the modern age, managing to feel both nostalgic and completely fresh all at the same time. And now, with 1 and 2 getting that same treatment, I'm beyond ecstatic. I had the chance to sit down with the demo at PAX West, and let me tell you, I walked away with a lot to say. If you've been following my channel for a while now, you probably know this actually isn't the first time I've gone hands-on with these remakes. I got an early preview back in the spring, and at that time, I was already blown away by how stunning the visuals were. But with this preview, it was deeper, richer, and gave me a far better taste of what to expect when these games finally drop later this year. And before diving into my impressions, I just want to give a huge special thank you to Square Enix again for inviting me out to try these games firsthand so I could share my honest thoughts and opinions with you all. With all that said, let's get into it. Before we dive into how my experience unfolded with the actual demos themselves, I just need to gush about the HD 2D art direction here. It's gorgeous, easily some of the best this style has ever looked. Dragon Quest has always leaned more into a bright, colorful aesthetic, and here, that charm really shines. It's perfect. It complements the music and the whimsical energy the series is known for, but don't let the cheerful look fool you. These are still really tough games. They'll test your patience, force you to strategize, and yes, sometimes they'll test your willingness to grind. Thankfully, there's an easy mode included for folks who just want the story and atmosphere without the grind-heavy challenge. Personally, I love the grind. It's part of what makes Dragon Quest feel like Dragon Quest to me, but I really appreciate that this option exists. It makes the game more approachable without taking away from what makes it really special. The demo began with Dragon Quest 1. A short story intro sets the stage, and then that iconic Dragon Quest music kicks in. I don't know what it is, but every time I hear it, I just get this wave of comfort. It's overwhelmingly great, and it's something that Dragon Quest has always done for me. It's definitely a comfort food game. I took control of the lone hero, and from there, I set out to explore. Without a party backing me up, every single encounter felt a little more tense. Just me versus the world, basically. At first, I spent some time roaming around, getting a feel for the combat system, and as I leveled up, I started mowing down groups of enemies, which felt incredibly rewarding. But then the demo pushed me into a dungeon, and right away, a boss encounter. This is where the one hero setup really hits you. Every enemy is targeting you alone, and if you're not careful, you'll fall into this cycle of healing over and over just to stay alive. The trick is to stay more aggressive, go in with a plan, and push for the win. When you finally land that victory, it just feels amazing. And after it was all said and done, that's when the Dragon Quest 1 portion of the demo wrapped up. I had a great time. It gave me a feel and a good sense for what to expect with the overall game. And yeah, I'm super excited to replay Dragon Quest 1. I'm really looking forward to seeing all the little additions that they add into this one over the original. I actually went back and played the original not that long ago. I think I played the mobile version, and it's a short, tight experience. I still feel like that's what's going to be there for these remakes, but I do expect them to add in some new features. Now it was time for me to jump into Dragon Quest 2, and that's where things get really interesting. The Dragon Quest 2 demo wastes no time. After a small bit of dialogue, I was tossed right into this clock tower, a massive, twisting maze of a dungeon full of staircases, traps, and enemies. This time, I am joined by the Princess of Canic, the new character in Dragon Quest 2, which is awesome. I'm so glad I got to experience that, and she's absolutely essential for surviving this dungeon. I didn't get a lot of time in each of the demos. I think I got about 20 to 30 minutes in Dragon Quest 1 and 20 to 30 minutes in Dragon Quest 2. So it quickly became clear that my party was very underleveled for this dungeon. Enemies were brutal, and I realized if I wanted to make it to the boss at the end of the demo, I need to start running from a lot of these encounters just to conserve health and resources. I mean, that is classic Dragon Quest strategy there sometimes, but I would typically in this scenario grind quite a bit so that way I can make it through to the top and be leveled and ready to go. But I didn't have all the time in the world, so my main goal here was to get to the top of the tower. And climbing the tower felt amazing. Half the fun was just getting lost, finding treasures, and occasionally stumbling into something that completely derailed me. At one point, I opened a chest and ended up wiping out my healer, which forced me to fast travel back to town, regroup, try again. Eventually, I made it to the boss fight at the very top, but just as things were heating up, my demo time ran out. Even without finishing, I was hooked. I loved how challenging it felt. In a full playthrough, I definitely grind before tackling something like this, but I really appreciated that the demo dropped me into the deep end. It gave me a little taste of just how demanding Dragon Quest II can actually be, and that's exactly what I wanted. That's what makes classic Dragon Quest games so magical. They reward curiosity. If you take the time to step off the beaten path, poke around in corners, and chase down little leads, you're almost always rewarded. That was one of my favorite parts of the Dragon Quest III remake, and it seems like 1 and 2 are doubling down on that same design philosophy. After playing both demos, I walked away really impressed. Dragon Quest I offers this intimate, almost survival-like journey as a lone adventurer, while Dragon Quest II shifts into that more traditional party-based structure with its own unique twists. Both games feel distinct, yet together they're setting the stage for something really special. So my overall experience with both these demos was great. I am more excited now than I've ever been to play these games when they release on October 30th later this year, and I just want to say if you haven't had the chance to play Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake, I definitely recommend going out and doing so because there will be extra content in Dragon Quest 1 and 2. I anticipate that all these games will come together nicely as one cohesive trilogy, so definitely be sure to play Dragon Quest 3 before you dive into these. There's so much to love here, and I genuinely can't wait to experience the full remakes later this year. Anyway, that's it for me in this one. Thank you again to Square Enix for inviting me out to play all these amazing games early. It really was an incredible experience. If you haven't yet, be sure to check out my hands-on previews of Final Fantasy Tactics: The Evil East Chronicles and Octopath Traveler 0. I'll link those in the description below. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more previews of upcoming games, then be sure to subscribe. It really helps out the channel. More importantly, let me know in the comments below if you're going to play Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D Remake. Also, feel free to let me know if you have any questions about my preview. I'll be happy to answer them for you. I look forward to reading your thoughts, and until next time, I'm out.